This is question number 86 from book number 1 based on the 2020 NEC, and this is electricaltime.com. A brand new home is being constructed, and the basement height is 6 feet tall. Is it permissible to install the 200 amp circuit breaker panel in this basement? All right, so we got a couple of choices here. We have A. Yes, the code permits service equipment that does not exceed 200 amps to be installed in existing dwellings with the height of the working space less than 6.5 feet. And again, the key word here is existing dwellings. Answer B. Yes, the code permits panel boards that does not exceed 200 amps to be installed in existing dwellings with the height of the working space less than 6.5 feet. And again, the key word here in this answer is existing dwellings. So when we look back at our question, is this an existing dwelling or is this a brand new home? So you got to make that distinction before you can use the exception. All right, so answer C, both A and B are the correct choices, or D, no, it is not permitted. Just want to take 30 seconds to let you know what we do here at electricaltime.com. We do online electrical classes from the comfort of your home, and then we also have this free service. So if you click on the subscribe for free NEC questions, Monday through Friday, you'll get an NEC code question and an answer sent to your email. All right, so back to our video. And the answer is going to be D. No, it is not permitted. All right, so let's take a look at this question again and let's determine what article we're going to be looking at here. And I see that we're talking about the working space. And when I think about the working space, I automatically think about table 110.26A1. And that is going to be in article 110, which is called Requirements for Electrical Installations. And that's within chapter 1 General. And then we look at the parts, and then we see part 2. And that is called 1000 volts nominal or less. Then we find 110.26, and that's spaces about electrical equipment. Then 110.26a, it's called working space. Then 110.26a3, that's the height of working space. And then we find 110.26a3, exception number 2. And that's where we're going to find our answer. So I'm going to take a look at my code book here, and let's see what exception number 2 says. So again, we're talking about the height of the working space. All right, and normally we need at least 6.5 feet. So in this case, we're in that basement. We need at least 6.5 feet of working space. But we have exception number 2, and it says in existing dwellings. And again, what's an existing dwelling? Well, that's a house that's already there. It already received its C of O. And, the house could be, 1 day old, 1 year old, or 100 years old, but it's existing. And that's the key word we are looking for here. It's an existing dwelling. All right, and it continues to say that the service equipment or panel boards that do not exceed 200 amps shall be permitted in the spaces where the height of the working space is less than 6.5 feet. So we can only use this exception when the dwelling unit is existing. We cannot use it on a new construction. You got to be real careful on how you interpret this. And if you have any questions, you can always ask your electrical inspector. But I think it's pretty clear here that this is a new house that's being constructed, and we have to have at least 6.5 feet of working space. All right, so let's read what I have in my textbook here. So this was a tricky one. Well, you need to focus on the word existing. My interpretation of this exception means that the new house being constructed with a basement that is only 6 feet tall cannot have the electrical service installed in the basement by this strict definition of the code. If the AHJ will not issue a waiver for the minimum height of 6.5 feet in the basement, then you must install the service equipment and panel boards in other areas of this house where permitted. And again, the answer to this is going to be D. No, it's not permitted because the new home has yet to receive its certificate of occupancy, and therefore it is not an existing dwelling that would permit the height of the working space for the service equipment or panel boards to be less than 6.5 feet. And the answer to this is code reference 110.26A3, exception number 2.